What up guys, SuperMetal983 here bringing us another CD review. Now, this is not a 2018 release, this is a 2017 release that I kind of briefly touched upon in my top albums video of 2017, link down below, but I felt like since I've been listening to this album a bit regularly lately, and since there's no reviews on YouTube, I thought, you know what, might as well break out my camera and do a review for yous. And yeah, if you like your death metal riffs hard and heavy, then this is definitely a release for you to check out. But yeah, this is what I'm going to be reviewing for you today. Yeah, this is the new album from the band Dyscarnate, entitled With All Their Might. This is released under Uniquely Records, as I said, last year. Now, Dyscarnate, in my opinion, are one of the finest and most heaviest crushing death metal bands coming from the UK, or that the UK has to offer. They've been going around for quite a few years now. I myself have two other releases on CD. These guys, I still need their debut album, which is called Enduring the Massacre. I really need to pick that up at some point. I listened to it like 2 days ago or something like that, kind of preparing for this review, just so, because it's been that long since I've listened to it. But I have their debut EP, which is called Annihilate to Liberate, which is this one. I got this quite a few years back at the with the UK tour with Ingested. I think it was 2009, I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I was really impressed with them, so I picked up a copy of this. Really happy to have that, because it was only a $5 or something for them as well. And then I also have their second album, which is called And So It Came to Pass, which is obviously in a digipack. In a slipcase format. Really awesome album. This is definitely one of the best albums in UK death metal, if you ask me. I love the riffs, I love the hard-hittingness, the aggression. It just comes all into one on this album. It's definitely one of my favourites from 2012 when it come in. And if I'd done a top albums list of 2012, which I have been toying with the idea for the past couple of years of actually doing like a little list, like 10 albums from 2012 that, you know, would have been in my top albums. But anyway, but this was an absolute monster of an album, was on repeat quite a lot, especially the song, is it The Promethean? Yeah. Excellent song, and yeah, this is an excellent album you definitely need to check out. But obviously it's been like at the time 5 years since that album came out, and they'd kind of done a lot of touring, and then they parted ways with their bassist / vocalist Henry, and the band just kind of dissipated a little bit off the planet. And all were like, are they actually going to come back? And then they announced that they had a new bass player who was also doing vocals. I believe he's from a band called Archive. I haven't checked them out, but apparently he does lead vocals and bass in that project as well. And with the like studio diary kind of video that they've done, I was really looking forward to actually checking out this album, and I honestly couldn't wait, because I actually felt like this was going to be my death metal record of 2017, because in my opinion it sounded huge, and I was like, yep, this is going to sound amazing. Then they dropped the first single off this album, which was entitled Iron Strengthens Iron, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be something special. And I knew straight away it was going to be in the top albums of 2017, and quite frankly, I was right, even though it was in the lower part, and I think that was just mainly because I didn't spin it as much as the other bands, but I was still floored by this album. And I think, personally, I think Dyscarnate have a lot to offer when it comes to death metal. They bring, like as I said, the riff heaviness. There's a lot of bands, obviously, that can bring the riff heaviness, but in my opinion, there's no one that can deliver an almighty bombastic, huge, crushing atmosphere like Dyscarnate do, and that's what makes them, in my opinion, a force to be reckoned with, and one of my favourite UK death metal bands, period. And With All Their Might, Iron Strengthens Iron, I knew straight away that whatever other tracks were going to appear on this album, that it was going to be monstrous, heavy, and a bit of a new chapter for the band's start, obviously with the introduction of Al on bass and vocals. And quite frankly, that's one aspect I was really looking forward to, and one aspect that I felt was going to be a necessity to kind of make or break this album, because Henry was quite a distinctive voice of Dyscarnate. Obviously, with the low monstrous vocals still being there, you needed obviously another high vocalist in there to give it that Dyscarnate tone, but a new tone to the band. And I think Al's vocals definitely are, they're not the same as Henry's by any means, but they feel a lot more aggressive, a lot more energized, and literally it kind of feels a bit more powerful in an essence. They're filled with a lot of emotion and a lot of grit to it, and I think that echoes a lot with the vocals, the low vocals of what's his name again? I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm gonna get the lyric book out. I should have prepared this a little bit earlier. Tom Whitty, his vocals, his low monstrous vocals are still sounding just as crushing, just as epic. They really do sound pretty epic on this album. There's still a lot of distinctfulness in his vocal delivery, that you can understand every word that he says, and you can feel that he actually means it on this album. The riff work is still a lot like And So It Came to Pass, very riff heavy, very fast and very locked. There's a particular song, I think it's Backbreaker or To End All Flesh Before Me. There's a downward pick in action part that's just so airtight, and it's just like fucking, it just blows you away from the get-go on that song. And also I might as well add, I don't know why I put the lyric book up here, but the drum work on this album from Matt Unsworth, his drum work is absolutely phenomenal. He's not particularly all that fast blasting on this album. There's still some blast beats in there, but it's more about groove and about feel on this album, and really executing a real heavy, meaty attack going for it on this album in particular. And I think that echoes a lot with what they were going for with the likes of the Promethean, with groove, heavy grittiness, kind of going for a bit of Gojira kind of heavy grooves in there, but obviously not as slow, but just quite very heavy and not progressive, just all out assault and annihilation. That's all you can expect from a Dyscarnate album, is a headbanger's ball of riffs and just meaty, chunky, huge riffs. That's all you're gonna hear on this album, and it offers a lot, and that's why I think Dyscarnate are definitely one of the forces to be reckoned with, and With All Their Might is definitely one of those type of albums that makes you just feel warm and chilled inside, and you just think, yes, this is such a good album to listen to. So as I said, Iron Strength and Zion is the first music video they actually dropped. They've also done a lyric video for, I believe it's Traitors in the Palace, which is also linked down below. The tracks to check out is Iron Strength and Zion, Traitors in the Palace, I believe that's the one that they're doing a lyric video for. And they also did it's a kind of like graphic orientation music video kind of thing, done by one of the members, I believe it's from Dark Tranquility, did a video for them for the song Nothing Seems Right. And though that one and All the Devils Are Here definitely are an epic conclusion to this album. I think this is kind of like the odd, especially Nothing Seems Right. It's kind of the more standout track on this album, and I think it's what they were on about in the studio diary was there's always one track that's kind of different on what they usually do, and I think this one offers a lot of hugeness, a bit of atmosphericness, but it's still powerful, catchy, and has a bit of a slight melodicness to it, but it's all out huge, monstrous, and just massive. You've never heard anything so massive when it comes to 2017's release like Nothing Seems Right. And yeah, what more can I say? Unique Leader has played the right card by signing Dyscarnate to their label and bringing a riffing band to their label. And this album compared to And So It Came to Pass, and So It Came to Pass is still one of my favourite albums of all times, but this comes perilously close to that album, and this is the reason why this was in my top albums of 2017, because the whole hugeness, the riffness, the power, the precision, the speed, the intensity, and the extremity that's on this album, the extremeness is just all there, and you just need to hear this if you want one of the most enjoyable, most fun and punishing at the same time death metal records from 2017. Then you need to hear Dyscarnate with All Their Might, released in 2017. I can't remember off the top of my head where it appeared in my top albums, but it was kind of low on the list, and like as I said before, it was just because the other albums in the list just got a little bit more plays, and I gave those a bit more attention, so they became a bit more favouritised. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is an absolutely monstrous riffing album, and I'm also going to link, if he ends up watching this, or I do, but I'm going to link Wyattxhim's review of And So It Came to Pass down below in the description, and obviously I'm reviewing this album. This is not a collaboration or anything, I just thought I'd link it because he highlighted all the points that I think as well. But yeah, for an overall score though on Dyscarnate and With All Their Might, I'm going to give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. Excellent album. The only thing that takes it just a little bit away, I would have liked like maybe an extra song in there or two just to push it a little bit more lengthiness, but that's just my personal preference because this album is absolutely amazing, and Dyscarnate are back with all their might, as the pun goes, and it's absolutely monstrous. I love this album, and make sure you check out Dyscarnate with their debut EP Annihilate to Liberate, their debut album Enduring Massacre, second album And So It Came to Pass, and their new album which came out last year, which I've just gave a solid 9.5 out of 10, With All Their Might. Excellent album, make sure you check it out. I've got more reviews coming soon. I might be doing a review on the latest, if I can find it, here it is. I might do a review on the new Suffocation from last year, because I've been listening to this one a little bit lately as well, so I might do a review on this, just because I can, basically. So yeah, I'll see you until the next video, and remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later.